This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back to another Can Crusher Spotlight. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, and joining me again, so this must be a big one, is the English Professor. John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. This is an important interview we're doing. We are talking to someone fairly new to the business, and it's time that we let everybody know what time it is.
It's hammer time. Like, can't touch this.
Right, but no, not MC Hammer time.
Oh. Well,
it's country hammer time.
Oh. Country hammer time.
Country hammer time. Jami Jameson, the country hammer.
He's too legit.
He is too legit. He won't quit.
He won't quit.
No.
Jami Jameson's been in the wrestling business for 4 or 5 years. We have to clarify that with him, John. He's a big man. He's a big man. I see a lot going for him soon.
I love his style. It's the style of wrestling that I enjoy. The bigger guys, the shoulder blocks, the power slams, the big power moves. So, yeah, I like watching him wrestle.
Yeah, for sure. So many questions for him. I don't even know where to start, John. Do you?
I kind of have some things I want to ask him. I'm curious. I mentioned I enjoy his style. Is he okay with this style? Would he, I don't know. Does he want to be a luchador, maybe? Would he like to do a moonsault or a tope suicida? Or is he just happy power slamming guys?
Did you just watch... what's the guy from AEW?
Excalibur.
Yeah, now you're all of a sudden knowing names of wrestling moves. Sunday show, you can't even remember names, but now you can say tope suicida. I can't even say it, and I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
John, we have to do one thing first. You know what we have to do?
I do. We have to hear from our good friend Al Snow over at Collar and Elbow.
Yeah, hats, hoodies, tees, sweatpants, all cool wrestling apparel, and it's comfortable as all hell.
It really is. It's very, very comfy, and the shirts they're just dope, man. They're just dope.
You're staying with this hammer time thing, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Guys, we have a promo code, and it's Can Crushers. Capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers, and it's all one word. So you crush them together.
You do. You crush the two words together, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, like you said. You use that promo code, guys. You're going to save 10% off your order.
All right, here comes Al Snow to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. And then on the flip side, we have Hammer Time. Country. Hammer Time, Jami Jameson.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, listeners. It is I, the English Professor, joined by your host, Mark the Mark Martinez. We just heard from Al Snow over at Collar and Elbow. And on this week's Spotlight, Mark, we have IWC's Country Hammer. That's a big name. He is the Country Hammer, Jami Jameson.
Jami, welcome to the show, Country Hammer. I love it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So, we drink some beers as we do this show. I hope you have one beside you because there's a lot that we need to know about Jami Jameson. Kind of being, I don't want to say new to the business, only about 4 or 5 years though, but you have a hell of a mountain to climb soon, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, by the way, I do have a cup of rum next to me, my man.
Good.
Oh, nice.
Good. John's the only one not drinking because he's being, I don't know, a wuss tonight. I don't know what's up with him.
Gotcha.
Watching my figure.
That's a big figure. It's a big figure to watch.
It is. If I had, like Jamie's look, if I can carry the weight like he carries it, then maybe I might have a rum or a beer, but I do not carry myself the way the Country Hammer does.
Hey, man, rum's low in carbs.
Oh, that's good to know. All right.
See that? John, do you want to run in first with a question? Then I'll do the rewind, but you want to bring something up? Yeah.
Sure. So Mark was saying you've been at this about 5 years. Is that pretty accurate, Jami?
Yeah, I had my first professional wrestling match in October 18th of 2015, so I got that tatted on my wrist.
Was that an IWC match?
No, that was actually at Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Really?
Yes, sir. I trained down there in 2015.
How do I not know this? This has just thrown me under the bus for a loop, and wow.
Yeah, yep. I trained down there with, I'm sure you've heard of Casey Reeves or Phil Early, should I say?
Yeah.
Yep, I trained down there with him and a few other guys, Eddie Knox and Colton Cage.
Oh, my God, I know all of them. Who was your first match against down there then? You've just blown my mind.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Knox was my first match in the main event of the Talent Showcase.
Nice. I now need to get some footage of that because, Jami, John and I are going to come and say we thought you went through the Iron City Wrestling Academy here in Pittsburgh. We had no idea about OVW.
Well, the thing is, I went through the beginner's class down there at OVW with Matt Capitelli, and then when I was in the advanced class with Rip Rogers, I had to move back home for family issues, so I finished my training through the IWCA.
Wow. Throwing everything for a loop right now. I want you to give props because we don't do this enough about Matt Capitelli. We talked to a lot of OVW stars before, but what a kind heart he was. Give us some words on Matt Capitelli.
He was literally the most genuine person I've ever met in this business. No, without a doubt. I miss him every day. I think about him all the time, man.
That's crazy. And the two styles between Matt and Rip Rogers are a little bit different, aren't they?
They are 100% different, man.
And then
but to be completely honest with you, I enjoyed both of them.
Right. Rip is this is how you're gonna effing do it, and Capitelli was like, all right, we're gonna work on this. Nope. Rip was very hardcore.
Yes, he was very hardcore.
So you've been at... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Anything that came to his mind came out of his mouth.
For sure.
So how would you sum this up so far? Your first 5 years from Ohio Valley to IWC, how's the wrestling business treated you? How would you sum it up? Is it everything you imagined? Is it more?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything I imagined. It's fun. It's hard at times. I thought it was going to be easier, but, we're working through it.
Let's do the rewind, though, right now. Let's bring it back to you when you were little, Jami, and that's not long ago, because not in stature, but in age. where did you get your love from wrestling? Mom, Dad, Uncle Joe, Aunt Betty? How did we find wrestling when you were a kid?
So it was around 2007, 2006. I think it was 2007. I was going to church every Sunday, you know, and one of my buddies, his name's Dominic Peretta, and I had him over spend the night, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'll spend the night, but I got to make sure I watch Friday Night SmackDown." And I was like, "What's Friday Night SmackDown?" And he was like, "It's wrestling, man. You ain't never heard of wrestling?" I was like, "No, I have no idea what that is." And then so he came over to stay the night, and we watched Friday Night SmackDown. And I remember Undertaker and Batista at the end of the show having their, I think they were tag teaming against Finley and Anderson or something like that, or Finley and MVP. And that was my first memory of professional wrestling. And it just stuck since then.
You didn't miss a Friday night after that, did you?
No, sir. No, sir.
So you brought up The Undertaker. I mean, besides John, everybody in the world has a love for The Undertaker. Who other did you gravitate to? Because I then do a comparison after we talk about this, who I think you are, but who else did you gravitate to as a little guy?
Definitely Taker as number one. I'd say probably Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Sandman in some ways. I'm a hardcore ECW fan. Triple H. I'd say Stone Cold Steve Austin as well.
Yeah.
Just to name off a few.
I see some Stone Cold in you, but my comparison that I brought up, and I'm glad you said that you're a huge ECW fan, because my number one, I see you as a taller Rhino. Rhino's short and compact, but you're a taller Rhino. And then I throw in Mark. Yeah. And then I throw in Mark Henry because you got that strength. Not saying Rhino didn't have the strength. So that's a close comparison?
Yeah, it is.
John,
I've gotten Rhino before.
John, I'm getting good at this shit.
You are. You really are. Yeah. Good job. So seeing you in the ring lately, actually hearing you on the mic as of late too, you've had some things to say. Mark and I are seeing improvements all around. You know, we've talked to some of your fellow wrestlers from IWC, including Bill Collier, who says it takes a good 5 or 6 years before you really know who you are. Now that you're coming up on that milestone, as fans, we're seeing some improvement. What do you attribute that to? Is it just all hard work and practice, or is there somebody in the back who's got your ear? Is there somebody giving you good advice?
I mean, there's always guys in the back giving you advice, but I think it was really just a realization of on my own part, because like I said before, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier, and whenever you think it's going to be easy, you get this like slower mindset, and you get like kind of lazy. I got lazy back in 2017 and 2018, and I thought it was just all going to fall in my hands. And once I realized that wasn't going to happen, I knew I had to kick it into high gear, or I was going to slowly be erased from the IWC and all of that. I knew I had to put it into gear, or I wasn't going to be around very much anymore. So, and I think I did that. But I think I still got a lot more to show. I think I still got more gears to climb. So, I just think that I'm finally into gear.
You really are. You really are, and we'll get to that here in a second. You said that you were lazy, and I want to touch on that. We're not calling you lazy because you would kick our ass, but where do you think you were lazy? Working out, ring work, tape study? Let's dive into that a little bit. Where do you think that you dropped the ball, if we can say?
Like I said, it was like 2017, beginning of 2017. I don't know. It's all of it. Tape study, working out for sure. I lost all the passion towards that, especially cardio. I'd still be hitting some weights, but I wouldn't be doing the cardio. You got to do cardio to be in this business. Cardio is a big deal, and diet is a huge deal. Like you got to be on point with your diet and cardio. It's like you got to be 100% in all of those aspects. And at that time, I was not.
So you've mentioned some of the guys whom you're a fan of. Is there an era you like to watch? Because we've talked to some of the IWC guys, and we won't name names, but some are like, oh, I can't watch that 80s stuff, which is right in our wheelhouse because Mark and I are in our 40s. But be honest, is there a genre, an era that you really like and one that you're just like, I just can't watch this stuff?
In the WWE, I like the 07, 06 era, and the Ruthless Aggression era, because that's just what I grew up on. I could watch that all day, every day. Anything from 2010 to now in the WWE, I can't stand to watch it. I don't like. A lot of people agree with that, but a lot of people love it. So, I mean, it's just your personal preference.
Sure. Some of the old timers, though, say to go back and watch the old stuff that you might learn something. Do you agree with that? Do you go back and watch anything from the 70s? Do you watch a Bruno match and say he was a big, strong guy? Maybe I should be doing something like that.
It's rare that I go back and watch that, but I do have wrestler buddies who come over to my place and we're watching things and they put on older stuff and I'm like, damn, this stuff is actually probably good to watch every once in a while. I just never really get around to it. It's something that I'd like to do more often.
So you're not
good answer. He's such a nice young man, isn't he, Mark?
He is. He really is. And I was going to stir the pot here for a second. So you're not like Zach Nystrom that says 80s wrestling is garbage. He just will not even look at it. If he's hanging out at your house, which you guys would never hang out together because he's just not your type, he just doesn't want to watch any of it, or he could learn something from Piper or somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a bum.
100%.
Nice.
So in looking at your style of wrestling, it's one that I enjoy, the big, strong powerhouse guy. Do you think, are you happy with that? Or do you maybe sometimes wish you could, I don't know, switch bodies with like Angelic and walk along the top rope? Or are you happy like just plowing through guys and bumping them around?
I'm happy being a gorilla, my man.
Yeah. Awesome.
A gorilla. So you went from the country hammer to the gorilla now. Somebody's going to catch on with that. I'm sorry to say. Probably Bradley Ruthers or one of those jackasses that sit on the other side of us. No, I'm kidding. We love those guys. So, let's talk about how you and Hardcore Hooven became a tag team, because this is we're going to sink our teeth into this for a little bit. How did that all come about? At one point, you were with Gambino. You were against Gambino. He took you under his wing. You're at Prospect Pro Wrestling once in a while. Then you end up with Hooven. Take us down that journey.
Yep. Well, to be truthful, I think the first time me and Hooven got put into the match was just to get us both on the card. And I know Plummer knows that Hooven and I are good friends. We trained together at the IWCA. And truthfully, we just worked together. So he was getting us both on the card, and I just think it worked. He realized that it worked, and it's something that the fans want to see. We walk through the curtain and get ECW chants, man. It's working.
It really is working.
So, this was then an example of Justin, Mark, not really being creative and being like, God, I got these guys. All right, I'll throw them together. And then he'll probably take credit for putting together one of the best teams in IWC.
Yeah. I think that's how it goes.
I completely agree. Well, it's time to throw Plummer under the bus here. What are your thoughts that Justin Plummer will not give you and Hooven a legit 2-on-2 tag team title shot? I mean, you've had a couple, but they've been in a Fatal 4-Way, a Gauntlet, this and that. You have to jump through hoops. Even your frenemy, Gambino, has said, you guys deserve a title shot, and it deserves to be, one team against one team. Is Plummer just scared? What the hell is wrong with Plummer that he just won't give you guys a legit title shot at money shot, any tag team that has a title? What's his problem?
I don't know what the problem is, but the likeliness of it happening is probably fairly slim. But me and Hooven are gonna fight time and time again for it, and if it comes around to it, you might see a little bit of gold around HHT. We
clearly need to get where everybody signs. John, help me, I'm thinking of the word.
Like a petition?
Yes, we need to get an IWC petition going that these guys get their solo title shot, because they're getting screwed over. The best teams get screwed over in three-way matches.
Screwed.
See?
Yep. We're ready for it, brother. Sign the petition.
All right, well, apparently we have to start it, John. That's going to be your job in the next couple of days.
All right, write a petition. Okay. And we'll reach out to Justin with that. Seriously, that would be a great tag team match, though.
You know what? Let's reach out to Jenny, because Justin doesn't do shit for the company. We know Jenny's the one who does.
You're brutal. I try to keep it light. Mark is just brutal.
I don't know where to go. There's so many things. Let's take a break from wrestling for a little bit and let's find out some more about Jami behind the scenes. We haven't seen you personally in a while, so I know this is coming late, but congratulations. We know in the summer you just got married. We didn't get to congratulate you in person. We really haven't talked to you because we've been sitting at home watching wrestling and not going to the event. So congratulations on your wedding, first and foremost.
Well, I really appreciate that, man. I really do.
So, what are some of your random quirks? Are you truly hardcore hammer? I picture you, when you're not wrestling, you're cutting down trees and you're stoking the fire at home. Is that really Jami Jameson?
That's pretty much it, man. That's it. When I was trying to figure out a gimmick for me, my trainers were kind of against the whole jeans and tank top and boots and all that, but that really was just me. And I heard time and time again that you're supposed to be you turned up to 10, man. And me wearing jeans and boots and wearing a tank top, that is me, 100%. 100%, the Country Hammer.
So do you train in jeans as well? Because I have a follow-up for that. Like when you're at the training center, are you training in jeans?
No, I am not. Jeans aren't as comfortable as you think to wrestling.
And that was my follow-up. Like how it's got to be rough, Let's pull all the curtains down tonight because I've had a couple of beers. There's just parts of your body that get stuck sometimes and pulled back and hurt, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I did find these they're kind of stretchy in the crotch area jeans, so it works out. But they're still not that comfortable. Let's just face it, they're still not that comfortable. But they're better than just straight on regular standard fit jeans,
Those are the same jeans that the garbage man wears as well. I'm just letting you know. I have the same pair.
So, do they not tear? You haven't experienced a tear while wrestling?
Oh, I've experienced a couple tears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they tear. You got to
keep going, I guess.
They're flexible. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Flexible. Yes, sir. Yep, that's it.
With the pandemic that we've been experiencing for about a year now and things getting shut down and then coming back and then getting shut down again, we mentioned that we were starting to see improvements in your work on the mic and in the ring, and we mean that sincerely. How much of a bummer has this all been? Obviously, there's a much bigger problem we're all facing. But as far as you personally and being a wrestler, what have you been doing? Have you been able to kind of work on your craft at all, or has this just kind of put the brakes on that?
given me time to build myself, as in my body and my physique. It's unreal. I've enjoyed that. That's helped me out immensely. It's helped me out in my personal life too, to be honest. But the in-ring work, I mean, I felt comfortable all 2020 in the ring, but I feel like I would have really, really found myself in 2020 if I had a full schedule instead of, from January to March being filled up real nice, and then the rest of the year just, hit and miss here and there. If I went the whole 2020, I felt like I would have really found myself and really moved myself and my character along the way. Because the beginning half of the 2020, I felt like I was on fire. I felt so good. I felt like I was finding myself, and then just bam, a total sudden stop with the pandemic. And I mean, still, even after we got to wrestle a little bit here and there, I still felt that fire and everything, but I just feel like if that would have never happened, I would have been on top of the world, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we saw it in Back in Business, and then the feature presentation events. You really saw you kind of fit and trim. So you really took your body in control during the time off of wrestling, and you noticed that, because that's when you and Hooven really turned it up.
Yeah, 100%. And really, if you could go back and watch some of my January, February, and March matches at Prospect Pro Wrestling, I really was feeling myself in those matches. It's just unreal how different I felt in those matches compared to my matches from 2017, 2018, even 2019. I was on a different level. I felt beyond confident in myself, beyond confident in my promo, beyond confident in my cardio, beyond confident in my match chemistries as well.
Great. That's excellent. You talked about the importance of diet earlier. And again, we asked some of the IWC guys, because this is a great story and we want to know where you are sort of on that spectrum. Scott Hall tells an Ultimate Warrior story. First of all, before we go any further, Scott Hall, Ultimate Warrior, you know who those guys are, right? You never know, Mark. These young kids today.
Absolutely.
He knows who
they are. Okay.
Jesus.
All right, just make sure. So Scott Hall tells a story of the Ultimate Warrior stopping at a gas station and buying a package of Chips Ahoy cookies. And while he's pumping his gas, he sniffs the cookies and then throws the cookies away because he didn't want the calories, but he was just dying for a Chips Ahoy cookie. Between that and Mark, where would you say you are on the spectrum? Will you allow yourself to have a Chips Ahoy cookie?
It just depends on the type of diet I'm on. If I'm on a low carb diet, which is where I'm at right now, I won't have a cookie. But if I'm on a diet where I'm trying to build size and mass, yeah, I'll eat a couple cookies.
What the hell was that? Throwing me under the bus between the Ultimate Warrior and Mark. So you're saying
that's the spectrum.
Oh, then I'll eat anything.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me tell this story real quick. I think it was probably about a year ago. I was on the keto diet, so you're not allowed to have more than 20 grams of carbs a day. And I was out with my wife. She was my fiance at the time, but I was out with her. We were going up to our campsite. We my dad has a campsite. We go up there every year, and we were heading up that way. And she wanted to stop and get a McDonald's frappe, a caramel frappe, and
delicious.
Caramel frappes are just my thing.
Delicious.
So we went through the drive-through. This is kind of the Scott Hall Ultimate Warrior story, really, but with me and my fiance at the time. We were going through. She got the frappe, and I was driving, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna need a sip of that, just one sip." And then she was like, "What about your diet? What about your diet?" I was like, "I'll spit it out. I just need a sip of it, and I'll spit it out the window."
Did you?
And that's exactly what I did.
Nice. Wow. So see,
to get that and just get that taste.
So he's a step below. No disrespect, he's a step below the Ultimate Warrior. I would have drank
Yes.
at least 2 of them. I would have had 2 of them. Yeah. I have no diet. The diet is eat it. That's the way that I am. We're horrible. Jamie, we see your family a lot at wrestling events and everything. When you came out and told them that, you're getting into wrestling, 2-part question. What was your deciding factor of getting in wrestling? And how did your family say, maybe you shouldn't, or were they balls to the wall, go rip it up, buddy?
Well, to be truthful, back in the 07 story with my friend from church, the second I watched that Undertaker and Batista segment, or the Undertaker and Batista match, I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. And moving on with my life year and year, me and my friends did the whole, trampoline thing, wrestling, and then wrestling on mattresses, and we even bought a wrestling ring, a real wrestling ring, which is still in my parents' backyard, and we had years of backyard wrestling. My mom and dad weren't the biggest fan of watching me get destroyed and bleeding all over the place. They weren't the biggest fan of that, but they knew that was my passion. That they knew that's what I was born to do, and they knew I wasn't going to college. I wasn't the grade A guy in high school. There's no way in hell I was going to college, and they knew what I was going to do. So, and they supported me 100%, and they helped me pay for training, and there was no doubt in their minds this is what I was meant to do. So it's just nice having that support,
It is. It really is. I agree. John, what I heard from Jamie is that we're welcome over his mom and dad's house anytime to play in that ring.
Wow.
That's what I don't know if mom and dad know we're coming, but Saturday we're going to be down, Jamie, all right?
I don't know if you want to get in the ring, man. It's filled with moss and plants and shit. It's just, yeah, it's pretty much done. But if you want to, feel free.
Oh, us 2 idiots would do it. We'll scrub it first. We'll actually bring a pressure washer down, clean it, because Plumber never lets us do any of that. He's just he's a sourpuss.
Is your family, are they fans? Are they fans of yours? Are they fans of wrestling now?
Oh, they're 100% fans of me. I wouldn't say that all of them are fans of wrestling. My parents aren't. I mean, I'm the only one to ever show them wrestling, really. My mom knew Hulk Hogan back in the day, but no, they weren't the biggest wrestling fans. My uncle, he was a hardcore fan. My Uncle Sam, he was a hardcore fan. He went to all the ECW shows back in the day, so he's a hardcore fan. He's there all the time to watch me do my thing, and when I'm in there doing hardcore stuff, he loves it because he was that ECW boy back in the day.
You mentioned earlier that the last 10 or so years have been unwatchable. If you listen to our show, we'll pretty much agree with that. There have been some bright spots here and there, but for the most part, yeah. What do you like? You like AEW? What do you watch?
I don't. I just watch old stuff from 07, 08, 06. That's pretty much what I do. But I do enjoy AEW. I don't have cable, so I don't watch it every week. But if I can watch their PPV, I'll watch their PPV. I love AEW. I love everything that they've done so far. I think they're very strong. I like seeing some of my friends on the show. I do like NXT. I'll watch NXT pay-per-views. I'll see people I know on NXT. So it's great seeing friends,
Have some of those friends stayed down to earth and stayed in touch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know Wardlow. He's a cool dude. We talk from time to time, not too often, but from time to time we'll talk.
Wardlow is a great guy, John. You know what he's done for our kids, so you can only imagine what he. Jamie was young when Wardlow was in IWC, so I'm sure Wardlow passed some stuff on to him. Even Britt.
He was my debut match in IWC at Proving Ground in 2017.
Yep, at White Oak.
No, it was what was it? Drawing a blank. It wasn't White Oak. It was Royal Valley.
Oh, that's right. They moved that year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the other proving grounds have happened pretty much at White Oak. Just, I don't know, understand why, but yeah, that's right. They moved it that year to Royal Valley.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, let's talk about some other things, real life, Jamie. What are some of your nerd things? Because, we talked about you being just the guy that cuts wood and everything, but what else are you into? Let's put down the wall a little bit, and I can't imagine, prove me wrong, are you a big gamer? What do you like to do when you do take a break from wrestling?
I'm not the biggest gamer, but I will pick up the controller from time to time. The biggest thing I got, the biggest mark thing I got is I collect wrestling belts. I'm a big wrestling belt fan.
What is your favorite one that you have then? I have two. There's a million of them that I want, but my wife has put the kibosh. The other guy that's on the show, Chad, has a ton of them as well, but what's your favorite one?
I just got the AEW belt in the mail. That's it.
Oh, nice.
That's a nice looking belt.
That's a great belt. If you listen to the show, guys, I always throw this out there no matter when we talk wrestling belts. My all-time favorite belt is the NWA Red TV title. I think that just is amazing.
Well, my all-time favorite belt is the Big Gold, but just in my collection, my favorite one's the AEW.
Nice. What else do you have?
I got everything, man. It's just too much. I got too much.
Your wife's a good lady. Or you got these probably prior to being married, but your wife's still a good lady letting you buy these, right?
Yes, she is. Especially the past couple of months, she's been very supporting with it. She's just like, really, another one?
That almost sounds like an addiction then, not that you're collecting them, the way that you're saying it. All right, shifting gears again. Jamie, what's the best advice that you've gotten from any of the legends that have crossed paths with you at IWC or anywhere? Because we know IWC brings a ton of people in, and you're in that locker room all the time. What's the best advice somebody has given you?
Just stay committed, man. I was talking to Mr. Anderson about wrestling, and he was just all about commitment. And I mean, it's pretty much common sense, but just the way he was wording it, he was being pretty real with me.
Nice.
And Elijah Burke too, back in the OVW days, he was real cool, real down to earth with me, teaching me everything that he possibly could of how to work the ring and everything. He was a cool dude.
So once you and Hooven have dominated the tag team scene, what's next? What would be next beyond IWC? Again, you're not a huge fan of the current WWE product, and nobody can blame you. But where would you want to go from where you are now?
What I really just need to start traveling. I would like to have shows back down at OVW. I was going to be talking to Spencer Slade about that because I know he runs down there from time to time. I mean, if I got contacted by WWE tomorrow for a tryout, you bet your ass I'd be there. Same with AEW. If I got contacted for a tryout, I'd be there. I'd be wherever I possibly can be. I would love to be. It's as simple as that.
Well, I'm going to piggyback that because I'm going to go off your like goals for the next 5 years. Would a Japan trip be something that you want to do? Mexico, over to Canada, Great Britain, anything like that?
Absolutely. I actually missed an opportunity to go to Canada. Channing Decker messaged me. It was probably about 2 years ago to do Greektown, and I missed that opportunity, unfortunately. But really, I probably wasn't in the best shape for it, so it might have been a blessing.
But you would jump on anything right now, right?
Right now, I would. I'm not saying that I'd be able to pass a damn tryout, but I'd give it my best that I possibly could. And that's something I need to work on. I need to be ready for that kind of thing. I need to be ready for a tryout.
But once you get that tryout, you can ask Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr. the same thing I'm going to say. Once you get that tryout, you're now in their contact list, right? As soon as they come to Pittsburgh, you're going to get a phone call. At Mambo, same way.
Yep. Me and Mambo talk a lot.
You mentioned you talked to Zach Nydstrom. Occasionally, you guys talked about OVW. I think you said. I mean, the next time you talk to him, do you think you'll bring it to his attention and say, "Hey, come on, we're buddies outside the business, but competition is competition. What can we do to make this match happen?" The fans want to see it. The Can Crushers want to see it.
I would love for it to happen, man. I put it in any words that I possibly could to get it to work, man. And me, like I said, me and Hooven's going to push for it.
Speaking of you and Hooven, let's do the shift gears again. I keep shifting gears on you guys. February 20th, it is called Kickoff. It is IWC's first 2021 show. We're going to see Hardcore Hammer Time, Sam Adonis and Katie Arquette taking on the Regulators and Ella Shea. The Regulators have been bastards all of 2020, and between the four of you guys, it seems like Plummer is sending you guys to take care of his light work again.
Yep, that's it. That's it, my brother.
Is there one regulator?
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
All right. Is there one regulator that you definitely want to get your hands on?
100% Chris LaRusso.
Thank you. He hates me, by the way, Jamie. He absolutely hates me. I don't know what I've ever done to him, but he just despises me. Maybe it's because I keep making fun of him for passing out during a six-pack with Jack when it was back on in the day, which you can see on the IWC network for only $9.99. But he passed out on one of those. Do you remember that?
Don't worry, man. He hates everybody.
He does hate everybody.
He fell asleep.
If I can, I'm going to be the one getting the pinfall on Chris LaRusso that night.
I can't wait. I hope so.
I'm a big fan of Sam Adonis. We've talked about Sam Adonis on this show. It just seems like he can do anything, work with any style. You're getting a chance to team up with him. Have you followed him? Are you a fan of his?
Oh, yeah. He's a real cool dude. I've been in the back with him plenty of times. There was a match actually back in 2019. I was on Stomp Out Cancer 3. I don't know if you're familiar with the Stomp Out the Cancer shows, but the Trestlers put that on.
We were there.
And you were there?
Yep.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on Sam's team with I think it was going to be me, him, and Bro Hemoth versus a couple other guys, but the show was running a little too late, and Sam had to piece because he had other bookings. So I missed tagging with him that night, but I was looking forward to it then. So I'm looking forward to it now. Love to be in the ring with Sam. He's a good guy.
So in that 6-person tag team match, and I don't know the rules. Maybe either of you guys can fill me in. The men only wrestle the men, the women only wrestle the women. Is that how it's going to work?
I would figure that's how it's going to work. I'm not the biggest fan of intergender wrestling, so I don't really want any part of that. I don't feel like there's any reason for me to hit a female. So I'm going to avoid that as much as I can if it's going to be that way.
Ella Shea, being who she is and how she is, and maybe I know the answer to this. The name Country Hammer says it all. You're a good guy. But if she gets out of hand and is just trying to rile you up and lays one across your cheek, just slaps you and punches you in the face, is there anything she could do that would cause the Country Hammer to retaliate? Or do you just think you'll take the high road and tag in your partner?
My main man, Hooven, will take care of her. He ain't afraid.
Oh. So Hooven will wrestle a woman.
Hooven would wrestle a dog sometimes, I think, just to be hardcore. I think he would.
Yeah, Hooven's not afraid to get his hands on anything. So, yeah, Hooven's getting the tag.
But you will take care of Chase Gold, which is probably going to be hanging around the outside, right?
Chase Gold better hope he ain't hanging around the outside because he will see a foot up his ass. Nice.
All right.
So he can be high octave. Chase Gold!
Yeah.
We talk about IWC a lot, but I want you to give your props as well to Prospect Pro Wrestling because you brought it up that you were really making, waves down there. Talk about what's going on with that. I haven't seen much, but are you in the know of what's going on?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about it, but
okay. Well, then
don't something for baby.
Don't bury yourself. I don't want Gambino pissed at both of us.
Gambino loves me. I think he said something about March.
Nice, John. We need to get to Prospect. We really do to see some of these guys as well.
Please. Prospect Pro is an amazing place to be. I enjoy every second of it. I haven't had a match that I didn't enjoy there. Marshall really does treat everybody well. So I'm excited to get back to work to Prospect Pro, and I'm looking forward to being at the top dog over there. So
soon.
Be ready for it. I'm coming for Elijah Dean, man.
Yes, everybody should be coming to Elijah Dean. Other local ones, would you'd like to go at? Is there anything else on your eye? Because we know, Rise is kind of in a funk right now. There's Imagined out there that, a couple people that you've mentioned work at. Anything else local that you really want to go and put the hammer down?
I've talked with Cato at Imagine, but I've also talked with Eclipse. It's just really whoever contacts me, man.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go wherever. I will go wherever. Something that I truthfully want to get into is death matches. I'm a big fan of death matches. I would love to take my foot and step through that threshold.
There's one before John. I know John's biting a bit to ask you a question. Crap, I can't remember, but Atticus Cogar fights at one. I believe it's down in Florida. He was on one a couple months ago. What brings, besides you loving ECW, death matches to the next level? What sickness do you have?
I just remember watching back in my high school days. I was always on YouTube watching any wrestling I could ever watch, and CZW really hit me hard. I love Zandig. I love Sick Nick. I love Nick Gage. I'd love to get in the ring with Nick Gage. I'd love to see all that kind of work. I'd love to see how I could do it. I did that kind of work back in the yard, and it's something that I'm ready to touch home with. I'm ready to feel it out in the professional ring, if you know what I mean.
What's your weapon of choice for deathmatch then?
Barbed wire 2x4, man.
Imagine that. That's what you carry around anyway.
Yep, it's in my trunk every day.
Talk to us a little bit more about the backyard matches. How intense did those get? Because it sounds like your desire to have a death match kind of stems from some of the stuff that went on in the backyard.
Absolutely. My last backyard match was back in 2015, and I haven't had a taste of that kind of feel since then. So we're talking 5 years, man. I'm ready to taste that again.
Did you have a hell of a crowd? Like, was this actually promoted, and did you have like a couple matches, or would it just be like me and John beating the hell out of each other in his parents' pizza shop?
No, we had flyers. We threw flyers off the balcony in my high school. We all got suspended for it. Yeah, and we had a crowd, man, 200 plus.
Wow!
Holy cow!
We have missed out on so much shit, John. Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
No, we got footage. We got footage of it. So if you guys ever want to see it, I'll some links.
Well, when Saturday when we come
incredible.
down, when Saturday when we come down to Mom and Dad's house to use the ring, I might as well bring a 6-pack and watch some deathmatch stuff.
Yeah.
He's
Good idea. Yeah, kill two birds with one stone.
John, he's laughing. He doesn't know how.
Ring. Yeah.
He's laughing. He doesn't know how true this is that we would be down there Saturday.
We would be. We absolutely would be. Yeah. We absolutely would be.
You guys are nuts, man.
So it's getting to that point. I want you to, and I think I might know where this is going, Jamie, as a dream match. Who would you want it to be against? Where would you want it to be? And what stipulation? And I have to imagine that I think your heart is really set on your dream match being a death match.
I wouldn't say my dream match is a death match, but I would say that my dream match would be a match that involved weapons, yes.
Against who?
Oh man, there's so many different equations, but something that was spoken of back in August of last year, I mentioned to Marshall Gambino about booking me against Tommy Dreamer in August of 2019, and I'd help pay for the booking, and we were talking about that. So,
damn.
That's something that I was really pushing for.
I'd make a point to see that. Yeah. Dreamer's one of my favorites. Yeah, I could only imagine what you and Dreamer could do.
I'm ready for it now.
Nice. Anything coming up besides IWC that you want to promote? Besides throwing Gambino under the bus that you might not be able to talk about it yet, but anything else you scheduled anywhere else?
Nope, that's it. IWC, man.
IWC. Are you considering IWC and Prospect? Because they never run at the same time. Those are your homes. That's where you're going to stay and hone your craft?
Absolutely. They are my 100% home. Both the same. Love them both the same. Love Plummer, love Marshall Gambino. They're both great guys.
Come on. If you had to pick between Jenny and Justin, which one are you taking?
Jenny's a nice person.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Jenny is a nice person. Justin is not.
He's all right. We give him grief. He's all right.
He is. We love Justin. All right, Jamie. This is where I'm going to throw you under the bus, and you need to get a hell of a lot better at it. And you probably know where I'm going, but I want you to give everybody your social medias, because if you have to hire your wife to post some more stuff, we want to see you throwing logs. We want to see the old school, like, Greg Gagne workouts, cutting lumber, stuff like that. You gotta do that. And you gotta tell people where they can follow you. And, right? I'm sorry I'm throwing you under the bus, but you gotta get better at social media, buddy.
You are 100% right, and you're not the only person to tell me that. So it's something I'm going to be working on. It's something that I should have been working on. It's something that is going to happen this year coming up. So my Instagram name is thecountryhammer_, and then my Facebook is Jami, Jami, Jameson, Jameson, and then my Twitter, this is going to be the hard one. I don't know what my Twitter is.
Twitter
so, yeah,
sucks.
That shows how terrible.
Twitter sucks.
That shows how terrible I am at social media. I'm dog shit at social media.
You knew it had to be coming.
Yeah, I don't know what my Twitter is.
John, ask him a question. I'll find his Twitter for him real quick.
All right. You throw me, put me on the spot here. Do you see any singles title matches in your future? Sticking with IWC, obviously you and Hooven are shooting for the tag team titles, but beyond that, is a super indie title something that would appeal to you?
See, as of right now, I consider myself as one of the mid-card guys, and to be truthful, the super indie title is you got to be super indie. It's hard to be super indie. I'm thinking high stakes. I'm definitely high stakes worthy. But truthfully, what I want to tell you right now, I want in 2021, I want to be a dominant heavyweight. So I'm talking top of the line.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear, John. Screw those other pelts. And by the way, his Twitter is @countryhammer_. Did you write that down, Jamie? You're welcome.
Thank you. I have to remember how to log in.
I don't know your password. Never mind. Screw Twitter because he's done. He's done with Twitter. Jamie, we've had a ball tonight. You have any merch or anything that you want to sell? Tell everybody, are you on Pro Wrestling Tees? I don't know that. Anything like that?
You got to catch me at the show, man. I got T-shirts.
Yeah, he does have T-shirts. John, this was fun. Jamie, as soon as you guys become tag team champions, I want to have you and Hooven join us and go through this whole shit show once again. Would you do it?
What? Absolutely, I'll do it, and I'm just letting you know it will be a trip because Hooven's on a different level, man.
We've had Hooven on. We've had Hooven on. Who gave him his own spotlight, and he talked about how he used to go collect ghosts. So that was crazy enough.
Yeah, Hooven's an interesting cat. Mark, do you remember? It was after. I think it might have been after a show. He was getting into it with somebody. I don't remember whom, but I just remember thinking there are no fans here, or people are leaving. So there's like no audience watching this. Is this for his own benefit? Is he really like pissed off at this guy? Are they going to go at it right here? But Hooven looked dead serious, and I wish I could remember who the other guy was.
It was
but
Calvin.
I think they were going to go at it.
It was Calvin.
That's right. That's right. Yes. I thought he was going to kick his ass. I don't even know what happened. I just walked over there, and Hooven was letting him hear it.
I believe, Jamie, not to cut you off real quick, but I believe it was about Katie's mink. Because Katie was a heel at that time, and he said something about the mink, and Calvin spurted off something, and then all of a sudden, Hooven we were talking to all three of them, and then the fucking switch lit, and then Hooven just went nuts!
I don't doubt it, man.
He's a crazy cat. He really is.
He truly is, and he's one of my best friends in the business. We respect the business together, man.
And that's number one. That's number one for sure. That you respect the business, you have friends in the business, and you continue to grow. Jamie, any parting words? This was a blast. Like I said, as soon as you guys get these titles, it's going to be a drunk fest between the four of us.
Oh, it's going to be a blast, man. It's going to be a blast.
All right. Again, guys, February 20th, you'll see Hardcore Hammer Time, Sam Adonis and Katie Arquette taking on the Regulators and LSA. Jamie, it was our pleasure to have you on our show. Thank you very much.
It was a great time, man. I'd love to be on here again.
We finally had a guest on this show who could blow Mark's mind. Guys, Mark does his homework. He really does. I stumble over my words and forget names, as was evidenced in the interview we just did. But you did not know about his OVW work.
I had no clue. Like, legit. John, you see me on Skype when we do these interviews. My mouth dropped. Literally, I'm like, wait, how did I not know that? Chad Miller, Al Snow, I met Rip Rogers. You know, I know Phil Early. I've talked to a ton of people down there. I feel bad that I don't know this. Like, now it bothers me that I maybe didn't dig far enough. Damn it.
Now you know. Now you know.
A learning experience, right?
Yeah, and that's what these interviews are for. Learn new things about the wrestlers.
Yeah, and that I need to do more homework.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so.
We learned something about the Country Hammer, though.
Yeah, he was drinking with us tonight, and I was pretty happy about that.
He's everything I expected him to be. He's a country gentleman.
He really is. I'm going to rip down the wall again. We talked to him a little bit before, and he's calling me sir. I'm like, Jamie, you don't have to call me sir. And he called me sir a couple times in the interview, and I'm like, oh, man, he's more of a gentleman than me and you ever would think about being.
Yeah.
Especially me.
Disagree with that. Yeah.
Especially me. I'm a bastard.
And he still insists he will not put his hands on Ella Shea in that intergender 6-person tag team match. We'll see. You know Ella Shea pretty well. She can be dastardly.
Well, it's actually, John, and I didn't want to correct you on the air, it's actually an 8-person. Because it's him,
it's 8.
Yeah. Him, Hooven, Sam Adonis, and Katie Arquette take on all Regulators minus Jock Sampson, and then Ella Shea.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's happened February 20th.
I thought he would tag in Katie Arquette, but he said he'll tag in Hooven. Hooven will get it on with Ella Shea.
He will. He literally would probably get it on with Ella Shea. Yeah. It shocked me that, this big, massive man that we can see snap, in the ring actually wants to be a deathmatch guy. Like, wow. That's crazy.
There's still more to him we don't know. Still more to him we don't know. And again, hopefully we get this tag team title match soon. And if they're successful, we have the contract. They will come on as tag team champions, he and Hooven.
And drink with us. That was part of the contract.
Yeah.
So you'll have to put your drinking pants on.
All right.
You got those?
I do have those, yeah.
Guys, Jami Jameson's a great guy. Make sure you head over to IWC Network. It's IWC.com. You find the network, sign up. It's $9.99 a month. You can see Jamie's history, literally, in IWC, starting from, when he was a security guard on the outside to actually being, fighting Wardlow in his first match to this coming show on February 20th. IWC Network is great, John, for the price.
It really is. And it's IWCWrestling.com. I do it too. I leave out the word wrestling all the time, but it's the website is IWCWrestling.com. It's $9.99, guys, and you get all their old shows and any of their future shows coming up.
Yeah, it's well worth your $10. All right, John, this was a great one. I'm sure you'll return for another Spotlight real soon. Guys, you can find us anywhere. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Ask Alexa to play Can Crushers. She will. Social medias are at Can Crusher 69 across the board. And I'm glad Jamie's going to work on his some more this year.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I had a question. I didn't have a question. Who am I kidding? We exhausted our question list when you decided to look up his Twitter, and we're like, hey, ask him something else, John.
Yeah, that's bad on me.
That's all right. That's all right. It worked out.
Hey, John.
Yo.
Remember, just because you're trash,
it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.